All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's and our final candidate coffee here before the primary election. Today we have candidates for Adams County Commissioner District 4, Harold Johnson and Tom Musgrave. Unfortunately, Harold is unable to join us, as well as District 6 candidates Chuck Neumann and Mike Tharp. We want to welcome the candidates and also thank all of you for joining us this morning. And today, again, our event is sponsored by Troy Davis and Roast Coffee, so big thanks to Troy. And certainly, if you need some coffee, we've got some in the back to get you caffeinated this Friday. We appreciate having great candidates for our elected seats, and we're happy to bring you the opportunity to meet these candidates. The Chamber of Commerce, Hastings Economic Development Corporation, Government Affairs Committee, and staff have prepared several questions that will be asked of each candidate. Following the prepared questions, we hope you stay to network with the candidates and ask any further questions you may have. To help us run smoothly this morning and get through all of our questions, we ask just a few simple rules. Please turn your cell phones to silent. If you do need to take a call, please step out so we can continue our dialogue. And we ask that attendees in the audience refrain from discussion while our moderator and candidates are speaking. And now I would like to introduce you to Chris Shukai, who will be today's moderator.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, candidates, for being with us. Tuesday is the day. We've been doing these and meeting every Friday for a while, so thanks to everybody who have joined us on that. As mentioned, a series of questions have been prepared. We'll rotate which candidate answers first with each question. You'll want to keep an eye on Jamie. She's got cards. And when the yellow card goes up, you have about 15 seconds left. When the red card goes up, please finish your thought. I will let you kind of conclude, but if it goes too far, I will interrupt just so we can keep going on that. So watch for the cards. Otherwise, we will get ourselves started. Tom, we'll start with you on this first question. Please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about the previous community involvement you've had.
I'm Tom Musgrave. I grew up in McCook, Nebraska, came here after high school to continue my education at Hastings College. I have a degree in political science and economics from there. Moved to Omaha for a brief stint, came back, got married to my wife. We have 3 children and 1 granddaughter. My wife keeps reminding me I forget to mention that. I was involved with the kids in sports, soccer, baseball, basketball, so I know what red card means, so I'll try not to get a red card. Community-wise, I've been involved with Leadership Hastings. I went through the program, was on the board for a period of years. I'm involved in Kiwanis now. I'm currently the past president of the club, and also on the board. I'm on the board and treasurer of Four Rivers Gun Club, and been involved with Legion Baseball and other aspects. That's kind of all about me.
Thank you, Tom. Chuck, introduce yourself and tell us about your community involvement.
Yes, I'm Chuck Neumann. I was originally born and raised in Atchison, Kansas, and Denver, Colorado. I attended College of Veterinary Medicine at Colorado State University and have been a veterinarian now for 50-some years. In 1972, we moved to Hastings and was employed and then became part owner of the animal clinic. We have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and have really enjoyed and appreciate life in South Central Nebraska. I've practiced in Aurora, in Kansas, Colorado, but South Central Nebraska, agriculture is just the people, very friendly. I have been on the county board for 22 years, and I've learned a lot about county government and what you can do and can't do. In that time, I've also been on the board of Midland Area Agency on Aging, South Heartland Health District, and I'm a member of St. Cecilia Catholic Church, and can't think of anything else, Chris.
Thank you very much, Chuck. And Mike, please introduce yourself and tell us about your previous community involvement.
Mike Tharp, 54, Hastings native. Been here most of my life, moved away for some employment and education opportunities, as long as 4 years active duty in the military, which kind of led me to my profession and career. Been almost licensed, going on 25 years as a funeral director and embalmer. As far as activity in the community, I was a member of Boy Scouts, a mentor for teammates before I had moved away. And I've moved back about 2.5 years ago and looking to get more involved in the community on the board, as well as some other things that I can get involved with committees and things. Thank you.
Thank you. Chuck, we will start with you on this question. Tell us about your priorities for Adams County.
Well, I would say my priorities are maintaining infrastructure we have and possibly improving on it. The trouble is, infrastructure's usually very costly, being roads and bridges mainly in the county. I forget, we have like 900 and some miles of roads, of which 150 are paved, and paving roads, even gravel is expensive anymore. The bridges are, I think we have like 250 bridges, and many of them were in excess of wooden bridges that are in excess of 60, 70 years, and they need to be replaced. And again, bridges are very expensive. And I guess that's my main priority is infrastructure and improving or maintaining it, providing a good workplace and a good work environment for our employees. I think the employees of Adams County are some of the best, and I really appreciate what they did. Sometimes they get criticized, but overall, they do pretty good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, your priorities for Adams County.
I think my main priority is fiscal responsibility and working within the budget and maybe tailoring it down a little bit while still maintaining the funds for infrastructure, which is very important. Public safety is a part of that, so our roads and things need to be safe. And like you said, the bridges and infrastructures are important to maintain, and that costs money, of course. But just trying to keep it within a reasonable budget, I guess, is my priority. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tom, your priorities for the county.
Primarily addressing issues and prioritizing those, address them before they become problems, and that relates to infrastructure, economic development, communications between the rural and municipalities. We've got a lot of small communities out there that are shrinking, dwindling, that have infrastructure themselves that need help. The farming community needs employees. I hear that from all our tenants all the time, that there just isn't enough workforce out there for them. I think expansion of the economic development of the individual communities and the rural sector needs to be addressed and come together so we can address those as a county instead of as individual communities or municipalities.
Thank you very much. Mike, you're up first on this next question. What do you consider the biggest challenge for Adams County, and how do you plan to address it?
I guess I see the biggest challenge is just communication and knowledge of what the board does. I think the citizens are kind of in the dark a little bit when it comes to that. Some don't even know which district they're in, what the meetings entail. It's been a learning experience for me to find these things out as well. And just kind of everyone in the community's been having to tighten their belts a little bit economically, and I think the city and county can maybe work on that a little bit as well.
Thank you. Tom, your thoughts on biggest challenge for Adams County and how to address it?
I kind of talked about it in the previous question. I think population growth, both in the rural sector and municipal sectors, need to be addressed. And then budgetary issues. We can't cut taxes without cutting services, and that's what the population needs to know and our taxpayers need to know. But the commissioner's responsibility is to make sure that those funds are spent wisely and with fiduciary responsibility.
Thank you. And Chuck, biggest challenge for Adams County and how you want to address it.
I think the biggest challenge is a couple things. One, property taxes are too high. I like the fact that with economic development, you can increase the tax base. That's really, if we can increase the tax base 10%, that's a biggie. And I like the fact that what's going on east of town. We're an agricultural community, and I don't know if a lot of people in town realize just how much that's our number one industry. And a lot of the industries like that we have, CPI, Chief, they're all tied to ag. And any way we can do, and I appreciate our new director of Hastings Economic Development, I think this will help in increasing our tax base. So that one of the main things that I don't know if people realize is our unicameral sometimes, how am I doing? Okay. Our unicameral is passes unfunded mandates. People don't realize that, but they sit in Lincoln and say, Adams County or all the counties, you got to do such and such. But they don't send any money with it. So that puts the burden more on the citizens of the counties. So watching how and what the legislature does, to me, is also important. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Tom, for our next question, we will start with you. And that question is, what is the role of an Adams County Commissioner in economic development?
Well, don't know the role because I'm not there. But I perceive and believe the role is to be a leader. And then through leadership, communication with all the entities within the county. We're Adams County, we aren't Hastings, we aren't Juniata, we aren't Kennesaw, we're a county. And through joint efforts through the communities and the counties, economic development has to be thought out, brought forth, opportunities be examined. What kind of economic development do we want? What kind of entities do we want to come to our community to help spur that economic development? Those are always the hard issues to discuss and come to an agreement that'll be beneficial to the entire county of Adams.
Thank you. Chuck, the role of an Adams County Commissioner in economic development.
Well, I think Tom brought up a good point in leadership. I think the county can always do more. We do contribute some. I think it's $20,000 or $25,000 a year to HEDC. But we, like Tom said, it's the whole county. It's not just Hastings. One thing the county is, when it was first originated, I think it's the South Central Economic Development, and they've done a lot of good in all the communities. I think it's 7 or 8 counties that they're involved in. But, economic development, it's the heart of the thing to increase growth. One thing seems like we have trouble with getting professionals, like in the county, for the county attorney and the public defender. And boy, I'd sure be open here, but you can get the person to come, but then the spouse, for some reason, doesn't like living in a rural area. So somehow we have to make it more conducive, a better community social-wise or entertainment-wise, I should say. But that's about it.
Okay, thank you. And Mike, the role of an Adams County Commissioner in economic development.
Well, I think, like has already been mentioned, just encouraging and trying to foster new industries and growth, which will in turn increase that tax base and lessen the burden for everyone across the board. Just continuing to look into ways to bring entities in and support them and be helpful to getting them up and going.
Thank you. Chuck, we start with you on this next question. Collaboration is important to seeing growth and success. Your strategy to encourage collaboration and partnerships as we look to grow Adams County.
Well, Chris, I would say that the more the county and the city and the villages and other counties work together, it seems like you get more done, kind of a team effort, and you cut the cost. Recently, we did a paving up by Hanson. That's on the county line, but the roads need to be done. So we shared the county line, the Barrows Road project, with Hall County. And anytime we can work with the city or any other entity, it helps. And probably the main thing that is on road work, but also with the ambulance service to rural Adams County. It used to be way back, I think when I got here, the sheriff's department was in charge. Well, way back, Butler Vollen was in charge of the ambulance service, and then the sheriff got it, and then rural metro, and now we have an agreement with the city. And so it saved the county money. It also helped the city spread out the costs. So anytime there's an area that we can partner with is beneficial.
Thank you. Mike, your strategy to encourage collaboration and partnerships.
I think just to reiterate what Chuck said is just an open line of communication and something that I always think of Adams County and Hastings, but what the other candidates have mentioned is the villages and things too need communication and collaboration with them as well. Part of collaboration is listening and cooperation and trying to just work together to benefit everyone by coming together, like Chuck said, Hall County and Adams County working on that Barrows Road project is crucial, and just need to do that as much as we can.
Thank you. And Tom.
Again, I'll hit a fence post here and mention the same thing: communication and openness. County commissioner has to be available to listen, to take information in, and then also divest that to other entities. Collaboration is not always a one-way street. It's got to branch out like roots in a tree. Opportunities exist out there that I think a lot of entities don't look at. Communication systems across the state. We're updating our communications in Adams County, and from what I've read, there's several other counties adjacent to us that are bordering us that already have that system in effect. Was there an opportunity that was missed that we could have gone into with the other counties at the time and done a larger project across multiple counties and make a savings for all those involved? I don't know. I wasn't involved with it, but those are some of the questions that I have. What opportunities are we missing as a county to look at our neighboring counties, look at our neighboring villages, look at our neighboring neighbors out rural that we don't see day to day? That is what we have to do to be a successful county.
Thank you. Mike, we start with you for our final question here. What more would you like the audience to know about you as a candidate for Adams County Commissioner?
Just that I'm willing to work hard, and I'm a fairly quick learner. I can get up to speed quick on on the different committees and the responsibilities of commissioner. I feel with the Boy Scouts and my military training, I've got the ability to adapt and listen and take the input of others and meld it and come up with a compromise to make things work. Yeah, I'm just really excited about this opportunity to serve on the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. Tom, what more would you like the audience to know about you as a candidate?
Well, one of the things I didn't mention during my introduction is I was involved in agriculture, a crop consulting company when I was in high school. When I came to Hastings, and during college, I worked for that same company. Then I worked at Thermo King, worked at the University of Nebraska at South Central Research and Extension Center. I was an agronomist for a period of years. I was in land management with Wells Fargo, and now I'm with land management with the Mary Lanning Hospital Trust. So I've been involved in agriculture since I was about 15. But with my college education and my involvement in the community, I think I'm well suited to bridge that gap between rural community and municipalities. I want to see Adams County succeed in more ways than one, and not just areas. I want to see the whole county succeed, and I hope I can provide that opportunity to be that type of the commissioner for Adams County.
Thank you. And Chuck, what more would you like the audience to know about you?
Well, not a whole lot more, Chris. I think everything's been said. Adams County is a great place to raise a family. That's probably, to me, the biggest drawing point there is to living in rural Nebraska is a good place to raise a family. Safe, there are things to do. At the beginning, someone mentioned to turn off the cell phone. I think those freaking cell phones are the demise of our families, because you go to a family get-together and you have to text across the table. That's getting kind of, need to put them away or do something. But anyway, I want to compliment Mike on being a veteran. It's a privilege to live in America, even a bigger privilege to live in Nebraska, Adams County. So it's encourage everybody to please go out and vote. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for running and being part of this process. We appreciate it. I'll give it back to Shannon.
Thanks, Chris. You did a wonderful job, as always. I'll start by thanking our candidates, Tom, Chuck, and Mike. We appreciate you being here today. You're very succinct. We got through all those questions pretty quickly, but we appreciate some insight from you on various topics. Also, we just want to note our appreciation to all the candidates who have participated in this process over the last 8 weeks. Hopefully you've been able to see some of those other events, but it is on media. We have got the media to thank for their participation in this process. We've had wonderful coverage from all of our local media, and today's event was recorded by Hastings Public Access Channel, will be made available, but also wanted to just point out that on the homepage of our chamber website, hastingschamber.com, Jamie's done a wonderful job of gathering up all those local pieces, the candidate profiles, all of those things, so that in one place we can go and learn even more about the candidates and see some of those conversations. And again, thanks to Troy for keeping us caffeinated. He has supported us through the entire 8-week process, and again, that's greatly appreciated. And I will end by just saying we continue to ask you to engage with candidates, to learn more about the seats they're in, what they're looking to accomplish, and certainly get out and vote with Election Day already being next week. It's come pretty quickly, it seems. But again, thanks for attending, and have a great Friday.
Gentlemen, thank you.